What's up, guys? Sub-Zero here, back for another VOD review today. Doing a Wasianiverson VOD review because, well, first, let me move my head here. See, a very just insane 1.8 AVP. But the funny thing is, when you're watching Wasianiverson, sometimes it gets even better than that. So this is a screenshot at the end of the stream, and he actually has another first here at the end that didn't appear on the tracker. So it's probably like a 1.6, a 1.5 average across the stream. I mean, it's just absolute insanity whenever this guy is playing TFT. And what's wild is, like, this is a generational stream. This is something that, you know, very few other people have ever done in their entire, lifetime of playing TFT, especially at this amount of LP, right? He's 1600 LP right now. It's not like he's farming people at Master 0 LP. But the other piece of it is that he's done this already. Last set, he had an insane run like this as well. So, I mean, the guy is just an absolute monster. So, first of all, there's a kind of an interesting piece of this already. We start the game off with Emilio, but we also do get a Twisted Fate drop. So we could be thinking about playing Bilge, playing, Twisted Fate and into that kind of line, but he's not actually locked into that just yet. He could have double slammed here onto the TF, hopes that he finds the Alawi and play into Bilgewater, but he knows that there's actually quite good odds that we are playing the Ixtal from this spot, so we might as well just chill here. Crimea River, aura farming, pretty mediocre options. Aura farming is just pretty bad this set. A lot of the units that you hit are just not it. And then Patient Study is a decent econ option, especially with the potential loss streak from Bilge here. Sea Heroic Grab Bag and Prize Fighter, once again, we don't have that great of an opener or, any unit that we're that excited to Heroic Grab Bag. I guess you could Heroic Grab Bag and Echo too, but even then, I don't think you're that excited for that. So we are just going to chill on our board right here with our no Ixtal in this spot, but we are going to play Strongest Board to potentially save some HP. See an Ixtal Expeditionist here. I think that was the Kiana score 3 takedowns one. So this guy is really going to try to play for that. So that is, yeah, it looked like Kiana scores 3 takedowns. So that is going to be annoying for us just because this is somebody who might try to contest things like our loss streak, or something else down the line. We see Nico here, and we are able to fit in our 3 Ixtal here, and we see 3 options. We see buy 24 XP, Nico survives player comment 15 seconds, lose 10 player comments in a row, reward 500. So what's interesting is last patch, this one did receive a nerf. This one went from 500 stacks. It's now 500. Prior to this, it was 550. So it is actually a big nerf. And so Wasianiverson looks at this, even in a spot where he could take it, and says, I would actually prefer this one. I want Nico survives till 15 seconds, which kind of blew me away just to start off with here, because I was thinking, wow, I mean, the 500, it's often good to think about these type of Ixtal rewards and like how many sun shards are you getting per round. And 50 per round is great, but the downside is also very, very, very high. And you can see here, we get to win a fight and start farming some of our sun shards. And so Asian is just saying, you know what, the ones that have a really big cost associated with them, I don't want to take them. Now something like this, lose 3 player comments in a row, a lot easier to do because you only have to lose those 3, right? And then after that, we can start trying to win. Wasian did drop a kind of like an Ixtal guide the game after this, and or just in his, he literally just like typed it out on a text editor after this. And one of the things that he said is when he plays Ixtal, he is very much happy to greed to 1 HP because he really nowadays wants to greed to the 625 cash out here, which actually, let me pull up for you guys because it is very important. And I have them all pulled up here because I was looking at them. He really likes greeding to the 625 cash out because a lot of the juice got taken out of this 550. Prior to 550 being nerfed, this is the one that used to have the double dupes associated with it. You could just take this 550 and most of the time you would be fine, right? You can either get the double dupes and just spawn in a Brock 2, or you'd have a Radiant TG on a Brock 2. Either of those would essentially win you the game on the spot. Now that the juice is taken out of this cash out feels pretty mediocre, and especially if you're only greeting to something like a 500 cash out, sure, this is big, sure, this is strong, but this is like a prismatic augment versus this being like, a double prismatic, almost a triple prismatic, honestly, on a lot of these. And so Wasianiverson is of the opinion that in this comp, you want to greed for the 625 cash at almost at all costs, to the point where you might be 1 HP when you're going for it. And what this means is that cash outs that allow you to greed a little bit more HP are really nice. This is why he avoided taking just the 10 loss 500 cash out, because you basically have to take that 10 loss and then you're done. You can't really chill past that. And so he is making the call in that spot to say, you know what, I would actually prefer to save some HP. This is actually a little bit scary because you know, this board that we're fighting is only level 4, but ends up being fine because LeBlanc is a broken unit, and we might even oh, we do, we get another unit kill here. That's actually huge for player HP here, so great pickup. And now we can start selling stuff. Also, notice what Wasianiverson is doing here. This is best practices whenever you're playing one of these cash out traits. People cannot scout what Ixtal quest you are unless you field Ixtal quest, because it has to show on the little sun. It almost looks like a drum to me, but they have to click onto that to, it's like a sun dial, right? Anyway, they have to click onto that to be able to see what your Ixtal cash out is. And so what he does is every single fight prior to combat actually starting, he benches Ixtal. Ooh, lose 4-player combat so well is pretty, I would think is tempting. Oh my god, yeah, he actually really does not care that much about, I want to go back here honestly and look at this. This is an interesting way to think about this here. So yeah, I mean honestly, this one's just broken, honestly, to have 10 of your units die in player combats. I think because, like, if you think about it, this is 4 combats for 150 shards. You can get this in 2 combats, I mean, easily. So I actually, those ones are kind of overstated in terms of like the sun shards that you get there. That one's just insane. I guess he was also looking at potentially the Armor Namar one, just because we have the Gargoyle made already, which is gonna be really nice. You do very often want to slam Gargoyle in this comp because it allows you to unlock the Skarner. But yeah, I just I mean, those cash outs actually are just kind of broken, because 5 units dying here, as long as we lose this, or 10 units dying, as long as we lose this fight and the next fight, we have it just cashed out in 2 rounds, which is just insane. And you can even cash this out over, say, like 3 rounds with some fights being wins, which is also a totally reasonable way to do it here. You do have to have some of your units die here, though. And he's just saying, I don't mind slamming items playing strongest support here because I'm playing 3 Ixtal, right? I'm playing 3 Ixtal, 2 Invoker, 2 Slayer. My board is not that good. Boxing lessons, Placebo, rolling for days. I mean, Placebo is just solid econ here. Scales kind of nicely with the ability to kind of like push 9 with stuff like Patient Study. And so, yeah, I think that's solid enough. Maybe you could look at Stand United for some kind of crazy board. We will also talk about the board that we want to play towards later, which is a really interesting variation of it. It is not the variation that is on tfdacademy.com. This is, I don't really know if like Wasian invented this or it's just becoming more popular, because it's my first time seeing it, though I played an Ixtal game, you know, not to say that I invented this, but I played an Ixtal game literally yesterday. Yeah, I played it literally, you know, yesterday, and played kind of a similar variation to what he ended up playing, though his version is honestly even better. We end up winning this fight, which is actually pretty rough from a cash out perspective, because this delays our cash out by a round. I thought he was just going to level this round to field an extra unit to make it easier for us to cash, because, you know, that's one more unit that could die. Then Milio could actually live and we'd still have 5 units die, but he ends up just fighting a pretty weak board and winning, which is a pretty unfortunate side effect to, you know, going for all these slams and playing strongest board. The upside, though, is versus people like this, we do still get to kill a lot of units. I mean, it just makes life a lot easier when you have more HP to play with 60 HP here at 3-3, you know. Compare this to the world in which we had taken the Ixtal one, where you have to lose every single combat, and I mean, it's just night and day. We'd be, you know, down into like the low 40s, maybe high 30s in HP, so it's just a huge difference. And that's the thing about Ixtal, is a lot of these caches, you can still win fights and cash them, or, you know, at least take good losses here. Next one, ooh, yeah, I mean, buy XP ones at this phase of the game are really nice. This is why Wasian is not spending a lot of his gold all willy-nilly in this spot here. He's saying, you know what, if I get one of these like Giga XP quests, I can just greed my econ really, really hard. So another very nice play from Wasian here, just to say, you know, I'm going to greed all my econ because that's what I want at this point, right? I've amassed all this gold from stuff like Placebo, from the fact that I haven't even had to push level with stuff like Patient Study. And look at this, we win a fight here. This is the dream in this comp, to win fights here, because every fight you win is more HP that you have to greed for Ixtal here. Ooh, double Skarner shop. It's actually interesting as well. I don't think you can take this. I mean, lose 4 player combats is tempting, but it's a lot of HP. I wonder if he's just going to take the buy 40 XP one again. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense the way he's playing this. And the double Skarner shop is very, very tempting in a spot like this. I mean, it's more than tempting. It's just good. It's just good. He does also just say, you know what? I'm never going to play for like 5 Ixtal. I sell the Kiana. 5 Ixtal is just kind of like not almost ever really worth playing unless you have like Ixtal spat and stuff like that. So makes sense here. Take another fight. That's gonna be another win with this Milio too. I mean, this is huge here. Once again, every single fight like this is another round that we can greed later down the line. So this is huge here. Gonna pre-pump his 40 XP here, but not pump anything past that because we do, potentially have another XP quest coming to us. So a lot of stuff that you can do in this spot. So Wasian just trying to optimize everything that he can with this Ixtal and make sure he gets the biggest cash out that he can, because at this point, we're at 335. We do need to really start looking at cash outs, right? We need to start saying, okay, the 625 is what we really, really want. But what are the other cash outs? The 500 is kind of the bare minimum in this spot. 150 MR. I mean, it just blocks 6k damage. It's not amazing. I don't know if you get to 150 MR. I'm actually curious. It looks like you do. Okay, looks like Wasian knows that you do with Gargoyle and can you right click this Skarner for me? And oh my God, he actually rolls once here and hits a Giga Shop here. So going to make the Morello, going to make this as well. Okay, I guess this is just. Can you click on Skarner for me? Like I just don't know what the numbers are on Skarner's base RNMR. So. Okay, but it looks like it's all fine without anything. We also do have 2 Defender in, which is buffing up the armor MR of our entire board as well. So very easy extra armor MR there. Yeah, it's 157. Oh, that was like low-key kind of close, but he does get there. All right, last Og. Ooh, I don't really love any of these. I'm very hesitant about Malicious. I don't think you can take that. But I don't really like Healing Orbs. I would default to this tons of stats, but I don't know that I've ever seen somebody take tons of stats, actually. Pandora's not that great either. Oh, he finds Exiles. Okay, good enough, good enough, good enough. All right, earn 20 interest, Ixtal Champion. I mean, this is a lot, right? This is 120, but it's 20 interest, right? It is a you have to wait for 4 rounds. So it's 30 per round. Start combat with gold, 0 gold 3 times. It's also 30 per round. Ixtal Champion deals. I mean, yeah, you just take this, right? It's 40 for the 1 round here. I would have to imagine here. Yep. So we just grab this here, hoping to. I mean, not even hoping, kind of almost guaranteed, low-key, that this Milio is going to do enough damage here. Man, Riot Games did such a good job with Ixtal. Like, this is such a cool cash out trade. I love it so much. It's just so interesting. Just having to make these decisions so frequently. Like, I would not mind if they just like reprinted this in a future set, just because it's so cool. Like, it's a build your own cash out trade. It's just, all right, game. Such a good job. All right. 415 here. Ooh, okay. So here's the problem, right? Because you could consider actually taking lose 3 player combats in a row. The only downside is that puts you at 615. So then you have to chill for 1 more round after. I think you still take it though, because I mean, the only thing is, are you afraid of accidentally winning these fights? But I think, yeah, wow, he really just hates these and says, Nico, survive player combat here. Wow. I mean, honestly, I feel like I'm learning Infinite about how to play Ixtal here, because all these, it seems just like every single time he sees a quest that says, lose fights, he's like, I don't want to lose fights. Why don't I just play strongest board and win fights and get the quest anyway? And I mean, can you blame him? His board's pretty good now. He rolled for the Skarner 2, hit that. He rolled for the Milio 2. He's gonna win another fight here. Like, oh my God. And that's another cash for him. Yeah, I mean, this guy is just a beast. All right, we are kind of lacking tank items here. I'd imagine we see a tank component taken. I mean, glove can be a tank component, and it can be something like a TG, so that's pretty good. We also still don't really have Brock items online yet either, so yeah. Ooh, 20 units die in player combats, 175. Quick mass, 45. Wait, does that put you at, that puts you at 630, right? Isn't that perfect? It's 45, or does that, no, it puts you at exactly 625, right? Yes, math. No, it puts you at 630. 455, you add the 1, it's 155. You add the 5, it's 160, and then you add the 70, which is, it's 630. I mean, ooh, is he just gonna take the 40 there? 20 units die. I mean, it's 3 rounds, and you can still. Isn't it just this? This puts you at 630. I mean, this looks like GG's. Okay, I will say I feel a little bit less bad. Somebody said in his chat, is he searching? Yeah, okay. Calculator app. Okay, honestly, I feel less bad knowing that I think Wasianiverson was also trying to do the quick math, and it took him a second as well. TFT players, you know, they say TFT players and reading is like TFT players don't know how to read, but maybe some of us don't know how to do math either. But I mean, it's 20 units, right? This is 3 fights, easy, bing, bang, boom, and then we're done. And if we win a fight, great. Best case scenario is a fight win where a lot of your units die. So I mean, that is the dream, honestly. But we will see, and this will probably just be an insta grab from Wasian on the cash out, because he is at this point going to be pretty low. He's still going to be 2 lives even, you know, if he gets 10 out the next fight, which is pretty good. But I very much expect him to take this cash out, and you can see he's actually already. I don't know when he put this team planner in, but he has a lot of these units in team planner already here. And you can see, actually, look at this. He's already team plannering for the Ryze. Targon, Demacia, Ionia, and Ixtal all in planner and level 9. That was so seamless, but he was already thinking about Ryze unlock, which is the real way to cap out this board, as we will see when he ends up playing this comp. The way to win games with this comp is to cash out with Ryze here. And so we will just make sure we keep 3 Ixtal in, and he's actually going to start rolling a bit here. It's kind of funny because we have no Brock in our pool right now, but we pick up the Azir, which is really big as well. So Ryze Azir is the way to cash the board. This is the big thing, is he wants to pick up the Azir as well. He's going to finish his tank items here and then move these over to, well, some of these over to Ryze and actually spread the other ones onto the Seraphine here. But he's actually done a great job of just basically full pivoting the board already. The idea is you can very easily get Ixtal, Piltover, Targon in. We are just going to immediately cash out here, by the way. But this is essentially the board. He's just going to throw Brock in this slot here, and he's basically got it done here. All right, we have to roll down here, try to find our upgrades. We find Ryze 2, which is huge here. We do still have all the Radiantifies here, which is big here, and so he's going to make BT here. He's going to make Brock items. He makes 1 Radiant. Wait. Why can't he's not able to slam the Radiant Trojan there. That was so a weird bug. But hopefully it's still fine. I mean, he's 17 HP. If he loses this fight, like, imagine if he was 1 less life here. He could actually die in this spot. Oh my god, it's so close. I mean, it's actually really good for him because he does actually get to unlock Nasus here, who is the best class in on this board here. But, oh, that's actually tragic here. So the thing about the spot is what happens is you do have to roll here for Ryze 2. You need to find out what unit you have to start here to know what you actually want to Radiantify, right? Because if you hit Brock 2 on that roll down, you want to Radiant Brock items. When you hit Ryze 2, you want to Radiant Ryze items. And so it's actually a really tough turn there. And I think Wasian even was like a little bit exasperated by the fact that he wasn't able to do it in time. Because, you know, if that's tournaments and we're 1 less life, I mean, this game's all of a sudden like a 7th or an 8th instead of whatever this placement is this game. I guess we'll find out as we play the game further. I will say, at this point, we are disgustingly strong. The other Ixtal Expeditionist player, I think they ended up cashing out a 550 because they have a Emilio 3 on their board. So, yeah, we are going to field the Nasus here. And this is the board. You know, take a screenshot of it, write it down. This is the board that you want to be playing. You get Targon, Ixtal, Shurima, and Piltover in. And the thing about Shurima, well, actually, the thing about Ixtal is that if you guys haven't played this Ixtal Ryze, it's honestly the most fun Ryze variation because he gets extra random upgrades. So at the start of combat, he gets 1, and then I believe it's every 10 seconds. I'm going to verify here. Yes. So at the start of combat, you get a random regions effect, and then every 10 seconds, you get another regions effect. So if he clicks onto this Ryze, you know, you might see that he's getting Noxus here. He might be getting Bilgewater. You can kind of see as the fights go by, if you know all the Ixtal effects good enough, you know, which ones are which here. I think we saw, it looked like Demacia there because I saw Demacia. Well, actually, I think that was the enemy board that we were playing just had Demacia on their board, which is why I saw Demacia emblem. But this is, it's just the coolest version of Ryze, I will say, just because he's just, I mean, if you can last 10 seconds with Ryze on your board, you start to go absolutely crazy. And Shurima is one of the best ones to fit in. It gives you that a little bit of CC. They had to nerf this one because it was so strong. So, you know, Shurima is really, really disgusting. The other ones that we have on this board are really just kind of decent +1s. You know, both the Piltover and the Targon are like just kind of fine. Usually you want a spreader when you play around Ryze. You want something like an Ionia, like a Noxus, like a Bilgewater, something that allows you to spread your effect. But the nice thing is you can just get that via Ixtal. You can just allow Ixtal to, you know, farm you up stuff like the Noxus or like the Ionia and get that. So that's the way that it's done. I will also say, spoiler alert, this game is looking pretty over here. We can go 10 in this spot, add 3 Shurima to this board. I mean, is this not just the most Giga first, but also just a really cool, a very interestingly piloted Ixtal game. This is not how I've been playing Ixtal in my games. You know, I've been like, oh, the Lost Streak one. It gives you a lot of Sun Shards, but honestly, just strongest board Ixtal, taking the upgrades that allow us to still tempo and save HP. And yet still get a giant cash out is how you can get to one of these Giga 625 cash outs that do just win you the game, give you the Brock, and give you everything that you could ever want. And also, I love this board that he's built around it as well. This is, once again, not your mama's TFT Academy board, but with Ryze being in the state that he's in, with everything the way that it is on this patch, I mean, I think it makes perfect sense to play it like this. And I mean, he makes it look easy, as he always does, because his name's Wasianiverson. But I mean, this was not an easy game to play out, but I mean, it looks easy in his hands. And plus 38 for a first there, because he's too high elo. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, comment, subscribe. Oh, also, I guess I didn't yap about it, but thank you for everybody who tuned in and asked questions and you know, was a part of my first Metafy Tacticians Academy group session. It was an absolute blast. It was blown away by the response to it. So the VOD for that, for everyone in the Tacticians Academy, is now in the Discord. If you guys are in there, if you are still interested in signing up, you can sign up and watch the entire last VOD, and we'll be having another one next week. So if that's something you're interested in, go check out the Metafy link in the description down below, because, you know, I'm always happy to, I'm slowly in waves, as people basically ask for me to add slots, because I started out with a very small amount, and then basically very quickly everyone was like, hey, like, I really want to be a part of this. I want to get in. And so I was like, okay, I'll add more people. So I'm slowly adding slots. So you know, I'm never going to guarantee that I'm going to push it past a certain amount. But yeah, we'll get in everybody that we can get in. So if that's something you're interested in, link in the description down below. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching as always.